What would you do if the survival of your entire village depended on your courage to face deadly trials? Enter Nyoka's world, where ancient wisdom meets harrowing challenges in a tale that will keep you at the edge of your seat. Before we begin the story, please like, comment, and share. Storytelling lies at the heart of African culture, a thread that binds communities, preserves heritage, and passes wisdom through generations. In every tale told by the fireside or beneath the shade of an ancient baobab tree, there is more than entertainment. There are lessons, warnings, and inspirations. In the context of Nyoka's tale, storytelling is a way to teach courage, resilience, and the value of facing one's fears. This isn't just a story about one man. It's a narrative that embodies the shared values and collective history of a people. Through Nyoka, we see how stories can inspire even the most unlikely hero to rise against insurmountable odds. Oral traditions are sacred in African societies, transforming the mundane into something magical. Each word, each pause carries weight. In this tale, the power of storytelling becomes a bridge between the past and present, serving as both a warning and a guide. It is through this lens that we explore Nyoka's trials and his ultimate transformation, a journey that speaks to the enduring impact of well-told stories. For Chidi, a young storyteller, this is a testament to the potential of blending age-old narratives with modern adaptations to captivate audiences today. Nestled in a verdant valley and cradled by towering baobab trees, the village of Kanyama was a haven of tradition and harmony. The baobabs, believed to house the spirits of ancestors, stood as silent witnesses to the lives of the villagers, their thick trunks and sprawling branches a symbol of strength and wisdom. The great baobab at the village's center was more than a tree. It was a sacred space where the community gathered to celebrate, mourn, and resolve disputes. Life in Kanyama revolved around a deep connection to nature. The villagers' livelihoods depended on the land's bounty, from fertile fields of millet and yams to the crystal-clear river that wound its way through the valley. This intimate relationship with the environment shaped their traditions, beliefs, and daily rituals. The village was guided by the wisdom of Baba Kofi, the elder whose stories and teachings provided moral direction. Under his watchful eye, the community thrived, bound by mutual respect and shared responsibility. However, this harmony was fragile, reliant on the balance between human activity and nature's cycles. Kanyama's beauty masked its vulnerability. When the rain ceased and the river dried up, the villagers turned to their traditions and stories for guidance. It was this crisis that set the stage for Nyoka's journey, as the village placed its hopes in an unlikely hero to restore balance and harmony. Nyoka was an enigma in Kanyama. His name, meaning snake in Swahili, seemed an odd fit for his quiet, unassuming nature. Orphaned at a young age, he was taken in by Baba Kofi, who saw potential in the boy others overlooked. Nyoka's wiry frame and reserved demeanor often made him the subject of ridicule among the more boisterous youth. Yet behind his reticent exterior lay a sharp mind and an unyielding spirit. Unlike his peers, who excelled in hunting and farming, Nyoka spent his days observing the world around him. He marveled at the patterns of birds in flight, the rustling of leaves in the wind, and the intricate paths of ants on the ground. Baba Kofi often told him, "Strength is not just in muscle. It is in understanding the world and knowing your place within it." Despite his wisdom, Nyoka was an unlikely candidate for heroism. When the oracle declared that the 3 trials must be undertaken to save the village, no one expected him to step forward. Yet, as he did, a hush fell over the crowd. "I will go," he said, his voice steady. In that moment, the villagers' perception of Nyoka began to shift. They saw not a weak boy, but someone who carried the weight of their hopes with quiet resolve. Kanyama had always been blessed with abundance. Its fertile lands and flowing rivers sustained its people, creating a thriving community deeply connected to the rhythms of nature. However, this harmony was shattered when the rains failed. The skies, once generous with their bounty, became barren. Crops withered under the relentless sun. Rivers shrank to shallow streams, and the air grew heavy with despair. The villagers, unaccustomed to such hardship, turned to their elders for answers. Baba Kofi gathered the community beneath the great baobab, his voice steady despite the anxiety in his heart. "The spirits are restless," he said, "and they demand a sign of our commitment to balance and respect." The oracle, a figure of mystique and authority, was consulted to seek the will of the ancestors. Her pronouncement was both a revelation and a challenge. "The 3 trials must be undertaken," she declared. "Only through courage, wisdom, and heart will the rains return." The trials, a legend in their own right, were known for their peril. None who had attempted them before had succeeded, and the weight of this knowledge hung heavy over the village. It was against this backdrop of desperation and uncertainty that Nyoka's resolve crystallized. Though young and untested, he stepped forward, carrying the collective hope of his people. His willingness to face the unknown marked the beginning of a journey that would test not only his strength, but the resilience and unity of Kanyama itself. Nyoka's journey began at the crack of dawn. Guided by the oracle's instructions, he ventured toward the fabled Bridge of Shadows, a treacherous structure that spanned a vast and seemingly bottomless gorge. The bridge was said to test a person's courage by conjuring illusions of their deepest fears, forcing them to confront the shadows within their own hearts. As Nyoka stepped onto the bridge, the air grew heavy, and an unnatural darkness enveloped him. Whispers filled his ears, their words laced with malice. "You are weak. You will fail." The shadows twisted and morphed, taking the shapes of terrifying creatures and memories that haunted him. The lion that had taken his parents, the faces of villagers who mocked him, and the endless river that had dried to a trickle. Nyoka's heart raced, and his hands trembled, but he remembered Baba Kofi's words. Fear is but a shadow. It cannot harm you unless you let it. Closing his eyes, he recited a prayer to the spirits and took one deliberate step after another. The whispers grew louder, the shadows more menacing. Yet Nyoka persisted. With each step, the illusions began to fade, replaced by a serene clarity. When he reached the other side of the bridge, the darkness lifted, and the sun broke through the clouds. Nyoka had passed the first trial, proving his courage and resolve. Yet, the journey was far from over, and he steeled himself for what lay ahead. Nyoka's path led him to the Cave of Echoes, a dark and labyrinthine cavern whispered about in tales of old. The trial within was said to confront the traveler with the amplified voices of their doubts and insecurities, testing their ability to remain steadfast in the face of inner turmoil. As Nyoka stepped into the cave, the air turned cold, and a faint murmuring began to fill the space. The further he ventured, the louder the whispers grew, each one a reflection of his deepest fears. You are not strong enough. You are alone. You will fail, just like the others. The echoes surrounded him, their words cutting into his resolve like daggers. Nyoka's hands shook, and for a moment he felt the weight of despair pressing down on him. But he remembered Baba Kofi's wisdom. Truth is your compass. Hold it close, and it will guide you through the storm. Drawing strength from this lesson, Nyoka focused on the truth he carried within himself. His determination to save his village, his belief in the wisdom imparted to him, and his refusal to let fear define him. Step by step, he pushed forward, the whispers gradually fading as he approached the heart of the cave. There, resting on a pedestal of stone, lay a glowing gem, the symbol of clarity and truth. As Nyoka grasped the gem, a profound silence fell over the cave, and a warm light enveloped him. He emerged from the cavern stronger, his heart steadied by the knowledge that he had overcome the voices of doubt. 2 trials were behind him, but the final test loomed ahead. Nyoka's final trial brought him to the Lake of Reflections, a tranquil body of water nestled at the base of a towering cliff. The oracle's warning echoed in his mind. The lake shows not what you wish to see, but what you must confront. As Nyoka approached the water's edge, he gazed into its glassy surface. At first, he saw only his reflection, but soon the image began to shift. Scenes from his past unfolded before him, his parents' tragic death, the taunts of villagers who doubted him, and moments of loneliness that had shaped his journey. Each vision was a reminder of the pain and fear he carried within. Tears welled in his eyes as he watched these memories play out, but he did not look away. Instead, he whispered a quiet prayer for strength and forgiveness. The lake then revealed something unexpected. Visions of a brighter future. He saw Kanyama flourishing once more, children laughing under the shade of the great baobab, and himself standing tall, embraced by his community. Understanding that his journey was not just about personal redemption, but about the survival and prosperity of his village. Nyoka made a vow to the spirits. I will bear this burden for my people. As he spoke, the water shimmered, and a sense of peace washed over him. Nyoka had completed the third trial, emerging stronger, wiser, and ready to restore balance to his world. Nyoka returned to Kanyama at dawn, his journey complete and his spirit transformed. As he stepped into the village square, the skies above began to darken. The villagers, gathered beneath the great baobab, looked up in awe as the first drops of rain fell. Cheers erupted, and children danced as the long-awaited rains finally returned to their parched land. Baba Kofi approached Nyoka, his eyes filled with pride. "You have done what no one else could," he said. "You have restored balance, not just to the land, but to our hearts." The rains poured steadily for days, replenishing the fields and filling the river that had once dwindled to a trickle. Kanyama's crops began to flourish again, and the air buzzed with renewed hope. The villagers, once divided by despair, came together in celebration, their gratitude for Nyoka's bravery uniting them as never before. In the days that followed, Nyoka shared his experiences with the villagers. He spoke of the trials and the lessons they held, the importance of courage, self-awareness, and truth. His story became a part of Kanyama's oral tradition, a tale passed down to inspire future generations. Nyoka's journey was a reminder that even the most unlikely heroes can bring about profound change. Through his trials, he not only saved his village, but also reawakened their belief in the power of resilience and unity. Nyoka's journey through the three trials is rich with symbolism, reflecting universal themes and cultural value deeply rooted in African traditions. Each trial represents a pivotal aspect of personal growth and community responsibility. The Bridge of Shadows symbolizes the courage required to confront and overcome one's fears. The illusions Nyoka faced on the bridge reflect the internal struggles we all carry, reminding us that fear is often an obstacle created by our minds. The Cave of Echoes represents the challenge of self-doubt and the power of truth. By ignoring the amplified whispers of insecurity, Nyoka demonstrates the importance of staying true to oneself, even when external voices threaten to overwhelm. The Lake of Reflections highlights the necessity of self-awareness and confronting the past to achieve growth. The lake's visions remind us that understanding and accepting our pain is a vital step toward healing and transformation. Together, these trials mirror the rites of passage found in many African cultures, where young individuals must prove their readiness to take on adult responsibilities. Nyoka's trials teach lessons of courage, resilience, and the interconnectedness of personal growth and communal well-being. The journey also emphasizes the cyclical nature of life and the balance between humanity and nature. Nyoka's actions restore harmony not just to the land, but to the hearts of his people, underscoring the belief that individual actions can have far-reaching consequences for the greater good. A legacy is the mark we leave behind, a reflection of our values, actions, and the impact we have on others. It is not just about wealth or possessions. Rather, it's the lessons, memories, and influence that endure through generations. Our actions today shape the stories that will be told tomorrow.